So in this video, I want to share 5 things that I've never done in Hawaii as a local, but I want to one day. It's sort of a short bucket list of things that I'd like to do, I just haven't gotten around to doing them yet. And it's kind of a strange place to be in because I see all these wonderful things that I could do in Hawaii, but at the same time, because of the accessibility and proximity to where I am here, there's no urgency to do them. And as I'm reaching about the middle point in my life, assuming that I make the average lifespan, I thought I'd just put this video together and share, and maybe years later, hopefully a lot of years later, I can look back on this video and sort of see how I did. And if you have a bucket list of things that you want to do in Hawaii, please let me know in the comments below. Hello from Hawaii. So I'd love to go on a Lost tour. If you're not familiar with the show Lost, it was this show a while ago on ABC that I think captivated Western audiences. The writing was ridiculously interesting and the characters were great and the twists and how everything was interconnected. I'd never seen a show like that. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and it's probably the only show that I've kept up every single week. My favorite character was probably Sawyer. I liked his sort of anti-hero sort of persona, very sarcastic, very intelligent, but underneath all of that, there was a good heart and he made the right choices at the right time. But what I loved most about the show was seeing parts of Oahu, because at the time the show was being aired, I was in Colorado and there's nothing that really could remind me of home. And so anytime I'd watch Lost, I'd see all these familiar scenes, these familiar places that reminded me of growing up. And I know that a lot of time has passed since the show last aired in 2010, but I do still think about that show. And I think going to a Lost tour would be fun now. Maybe there's not as many Lost fans, but for me, I would just love to see some of the sights and just be a part of that. I would love to play at Waialae Country Club. Now, I was an avid golfer when I was a lot younger, and I had wonderful opportunities to play at a lot of the golf courses here in Hawaii. Most of the golf courses here on Oahu, and several, especially some of the nicer courses on the neighbor islands. But there was one course that I've never played at yet that I really wanted to play, and that's Waialae Country Club. It's where they host the Sony Open every year. But back when I was younger and I would go to the tournament, it was called the Hawaiian Open. I even bought the Waialae Country Club video game for the N64, but it's a private course, and so it's only for members and their guests. To be a member, the initiation fee currently is $70,000, and it's about $13,000 annually to keep that up. And unfortunately, YouTube does not pay me that much money. But I've always wanted to golf there over the years, just because that's where our PGA event is being played. I mean, yeah, I've golfed at Kapalua before, and that's a wonderful course, but Waialae is just, I don't know, to me, something special. Unfortunately, my golf game is not where it was about 20 years ago when I was a 4 handicap. I was playing a lot of golf, practicing a lot. I just had a lot more time. And I think I would have appreciated playing at a course like Waialae back then when I was actually fairly good. Nowadays, though, I'd be hacking it up, and it would be a struggle, I think, to play at a golf course that nice in the current state of my golf game. Because it's funny, because I think my mind would think that I'm still as good as I used to be, but my hands and my body would just not be able to do the things that I used to. So I think it'd take a lot of practice and a lot of other golfing to build up to that. Maybe go play some muni golf courses like Pali or Alawai, just to get some rounds in before I'd play at a nicer course. But who knows, one day, maybe I'll get a chance to go play at Waialae Country Club. I love to visit Mauna Kea and go to an observatory. Now, I know that there's a lot of controversy about Mauna Kea and the observatories and the telescopes up there. I've been to the Big Island many times, but for some reason, I've never noticed Mauna Kea. I think it's because I've always been there for golf or family, and I just never really looked up. But I know that it's a special place, and I love to go up there and take pictures and video of the stars and just see how nice it is, how clean the sky is, but also to get a better understanding of the sacredness of the place. Fortunately for work, I was sort of able to hear the native Hawaiian perspective and the science perspective, and kind of get a better understanding of what both sides are trying to do or what they'd like to do. For better or for worse, there's no other place in the world like Mauna Kea. The number of nights that you can view the sky is pretty much unmatched, and it's the reason why they wanted to build the 30-meter telescope up there. And so because of these pulling interests of science and native Hawaiian cultural practices, I think it's a very interesting place, and it brings up a lot of questions. Like, can science coexist with a sacred site. And there's much more discussion to be had about that. But I think it's interesting and it brings up a lot of good points, something that we shouldn't be afraid of in terms of discussing with each other. And so I'd love to visit the observatories one day, just to go up and see and look through those big telescopes and gosh, just see what those stars look like. I mean, yeah, where I grew up on the windward side, it's not as much light that we have here compared to like living out in town area, but it still would be nice to see what the sky would look like without any lights and how quiet it would be and with no distractions. I think it'd be pretty awesome. So I'm not really an outdoorsy fishing kind of guy. I know a lot of guys here are in Hawaii, but I would love to charter a boat and go fishing for some big fish. I mean, growing up, my dad loved fishing and he would sometimes take us fishing, but I wasn't really into it. It's only until recently that I've been somewhat interested in fishing, and it's because of a show on Disney Plus called Wicked Tuna. Me and my wife don't watch a lot of shows together, but for some reason, we've gravitated towards Wicked Tuna and we love the show. If you're not familiar with the show, it's basically about fishermen up in Massachusetts who do bluefin tuna fishing. And during the season, they try to catch fish and they compete against each other. And yeah, it's kind of interesting to watch. And so we've been liking this show. It's interesting to see the personalities on the boats and also the struggle of catching a fish. So I think it'd be kind of fun to go out on the boat and try to catch fish. I haven't been on a boat that much, but I'm probably prone to seasickness. I also don't know how I'm gonna act being that far out from land. I've never been on a boat where I could not see land. And so I don't know if I would freak out and get scared or if I would just be like, oh, this is nice and relaxing. So I don't know if I'm ever gonna get to that, but I think it'd be kind of fun. And I'd love to go on a helicopter tour of Hawaii. Being in town, I see them all the time, especially when we go to Moana Beach Park. They fly this way and they go around Diamond Head, and I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cool. I've never been in a helicopter before. And I think it'd be interesting as a local to see Hawaii from that top-down perspective, because oftentimes we see it from the ground level or in a car, and it's usually surrounded by other people. So I think seeing it from that perspective would be kind of fun, and you get to enjoy a different view. Who knows, maybe it's something that we can do as a family or as a couple one day. I know that there are a lot of dangers to it. I'm not afraid of heights, so I don't see that as being a problem, but more so I think any turbulence, I would be like, whoa, you know, like when you're in the plane and the plane kind of bounces or drops a little bit, oh, I get sick every single time. Now, in general, I don't really have a bucket list for my life. There's not like a huge list of things that I want to go and do, like go to Europe or go to do certain things. It's not really the kind of person that I am. But I do think it's nice to have a few things in the back of your mind that if those opportunities ever came up, yeah, maybe you might want to go and check them out. Oh God, is that a bee? Oh gosh, it's a bee. Get away, go away, bee. No, it's on the lens. There's a bee on the lens. What do I do? Oh, okay, there it goes, okay. But I think when coming up with this list of things that I'd love to do in Hawaii, I realized that the things that you can look forward to in life doesn't have to be far away. Like, it doesn't have to be thousands of miles away. You can make a list for where you currently are. I remember when I was in Colorado, I wanted to go snowboarding. That was on my short list of things I wanted to do, and I was able to do it. And when I was in Oregon, I wanted to go to Powell's Books. Absolutely wonderful. I spent the whole day there just walking around. But I do know that life is short. At least that's what people keep saying who are closer to the end of their life than the beginning. A lot of them keep saying that life is so short and take those opportunities. And so I'm trying to do that at the somewhat middle point of my life. I'm trying to do those things, and it doesn't mean I necessarily have to do them all right now, but maybe if these opportunities do come up in the next several years, maybe I'll take those chances and go and experience these things. And if I never get the opportunity to do some of these things, that's okay. I feel blessed to have been able to do so many wonderful things here in Hawaii and beyond. And yeah, we'll see. So thanks for watching, and aloha.
Hello.